science actually means. And I discovered what is the meaning of science. Why do we have rational logic? Do you know? And love and all the gifts of the Holy Spirit. None of that is rational. Why do we have rational logic? Nobody has ever answered that question. Good day to you. This is Galactic on a Monday, the 20th day of October, as we approach Halloween, the most important holiday ever invented by the mind of man, with the possible exception of the day on which Yeshua was murdered by his own people, which was called Pasxan or Pesach. It's also known as Ishtar, the name of a goddess in American pseudoculture, but it's ordinarily called Easter. And that would have been the old Passover, since that needed to be erased by the descendants of those who murdered the healer of the earth. So, on that happy note, and it is a happy note, there is a good message attached to that murder. The crucifixion of the most important human being who has ever lived. With the possible exception, if you're a scientist, you might raise your hand or your finger, whichever finger you choose to raise to me, and say, oh no, it would have to be Adam. Oh, well, then I have to bow and submit to you, and then once I'm done doing that to shut you up, then you need to listen to me again so I can correct your stupidity. It is possible to get everything wrong by choosing an equally true answer to a question. There are several examples of that, but the one that I'm bringing up right now is the story of the most important human being who ever lived. And his fame and infamy, because of course this divides a human being right down the middle. Right down the middle. So today what I'm going to do is explore the whole system of thought that arose because of that man. It was because of Yeshua that we have religion at all. And this will answer all the questions of Western scientists about evolution and indeed about morality and in fact consciousness. I am a Sufi prophet. I've decided to change my hairstyle to show that I'm more of a prophetic sort than an ordinary sort. And I'm not even an ordinary prophet such as Muhammad, for instance. I mean, Muhammad, sure, he's a prophet, sure he is. Well, so was Paul, the murderer. And so was David, the murderer. There are a lot of prophets. Well, I can only think of those two, actually, who were murderers. David was a murderer. Was he forgiven? He wouldn't be a prophet if he hadn't been forgiven, but he was definitely a murderer. He murdered one of his own generals in order to fuck his own general's wife. Her name was Bathsheba. You can look that up. If you're anti-Semitic, I suppose that would give you fuel for your satanic possession. But this is nothing to do with David, really, in particular, or the other murderer. The real leader of the neo-Christian movement was Saul. He was a murderer when his name was Saul. Then he was struck down by a vision of the risen Lord, the one that you should call by a respectful name, but if you're an American, you can't, because you don't know the meaning of the word respect if you're a typical American Christian. We're just about the lowest form of religion, and that's discoverable by a canvas of the religions of the world, particularly in the Israeli and Ismaili line. The prophecy of the Elect One, how far back does that fantasy go? That legend, that myth, how far back does that go? I'm speaking rather sarcastically from the point of view of a pseudoscientist. That would be a white man, and at least I do have the right skin color. If you've ever been a racist, you've been missing out if you're not anti-white. If anyone were going to be a racist, it would be against, speaking of an intelligent man, of which there are none in the realm of racism. There are no intelligent racists. Once you declare you're racist, it's just like saying you're an atheist. You're actually dangerous from the correct universal reference frame. That's what I'll be talking about today. I am claiming to be the prophet of Christianity. That's a given. I was given that gift. But now I'm taking over the entire realm of religion, and I am taking over the throne of Mohammed. And you are quite mistaken. If you're deifying your prophet Mohammed, you're worshiping Mohammed, huh? Did you even read his book, the Quran? He didn't tell you to deify Muhammad. Muhammad never said to treat him as God. Why do you do it then? There is a reason, and I am exaggerating. I am Islam. I am just a little bit different from anybody in any religion. There are only so many prophets given to the world. Now, Americans can't handle this. And if you're an American, get lost. However, you are a member of a tribe. Let me ask you this, though. Are you white? That's not even a real color. Even albinos aren't white. Yeah, we're all human. That was actually discovered in my lifetime. And in fact, there are no differences between humans that matter. If you're being rational and logical, we're all the same. We're cut from the same cookie cutter. There are 4 races, but one of the races, the brown race, is divided by the Himalaya Mountains, the Taklamakan Desert, the Gobi Desert, and the entire region of Southeast Asia, and the entire region of Siberia, and the Pacific Ocean. That completely cuts off about 1/4 of the population of the earth. How many sons does God have? There are 2 sons of God. 2 of them. One of them is the real Son of God. Which one of the 2 claimants to be the Son of God? The reason for rational logic is so you'll be able to figure out who is telling the truth when they tell you which Son of God is which. Because ever since the beginning of time, it is known that there are 2 sons of God, one of whom is named Shaitan, whom you as an ignorant white American would call Satan. What's my name? Mick Jagger, you rolling fucking stone. Typical products of England. What's my name? You know what he wants you to answer? Satan. They're nothing compared to your professional adversaries. The true Son of God is Yeshua. Do the Islam people believe that? Well enough. Well, who could possibly be against that? Who is Yeshua? Is he in the same class as Satan? So you got to be cautious with the questions asked by a Sufi prophet, because a Sufi prophet doesn't care what you decide. So I'm here to give you a chance. That's what a prophet does. We're trying to reach innocent people so that they'll have a chance to get out of the trap that was laid for them 7,000 years ago. But if you try to get monkeys out of their cage, and they think that you're going to get out first, or you're saying that you've gotten out, or that you're going to get out, or there is an outside to the cage, they'll tear you limb from limb. When the Elect One arrived among them, which was the whole reason for selecting Israel, who is a human being, by the way, and now you see the Israelis are back, they're supposed to be protecting the people inside their borders. That's called civilization and culture. The Islam people protected the inhabitants wherever they went, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Jews, Christians, they were welcome. They were never persecuted by the Islam nation. But the Israelis, that's all they do, is murder. I love America, but you have to be goddamn cautious how you define America. My father loves you. And I know that that's reasonable because he loved me too. And I'm worse than you'll ever be. I'm like Paul, the murderer. I'm like David, the murderer. I am fully aware that I'm perfectly capable in this flesh body to do exactly what David did, which was so evil, I cannot forgive David. And if I knew exactly what Paul did in hunting down Christians and murdering them right after their master departed for heaven in the Ascension event, kill them all, kill them without mercy, kill their children, kill their gardens, chop down their trees, murder anything that touched them. It's entirely unclean, just exactly the way modern Israel treats its citizens. Murderously. That's America too. We're afraid to stand up in America. So what does a Sufi prophet do? That's what we're going to explore today. And really from now on, as long as I maintain my interest level, I'm performing my duty before God in trying to reach you at all. If I had a choice, I would not try to reach you in any way. I would try to get away from you, and if I could, subvert your false society and your false culture and your false sense of superiority, you satanic... I could use such... I wanted to use the N-word. I think that's the perfect descriptor for a white American, is the N-word. Isn't that ironic? Well, you don't want to get people all bent out of shape. My God, they might not give you any Bitcoin. Oh, well, I don't ask for any, so I'm off the hook there. What about people hating me? They already do. I don't have any friends. I don't have any allies. I am a prophet of Sufi. I'm higher than any other prophet. Definitely higher than Muhammad. May he be blessed by Allah forever, which I am certain he is. How am I so certain of so many things? I use my head for one thing, but there's a secret that I must divulge. I've read the Holy Scriptures, I've prayed, I've cried, I've turned my face to heaven, I've followed what Yeshua said, I've done everything to the best of my ability without any duplicity or hypocrisy. I have been a wise man since the age of 17, and nobody has ever caught up with me. I'm the foremost scholar on the face of the earth right now. I still respect those who taught me, and the ones who are teaching me now are continuing to teach me, and I'm learning something every day from my teachers. Who are they? First of all, they're all Islam. Second of all, they're all Sufi. Third of all, they're all on the side of the Elect One. The Elect One. Who is that? A synonym for that has been invented and used by both sides in this cosmic war on Earth. The word for that is Messiah. Messiah. You know what that means? What is a Messiah? All right, let's take a quick look at the religions of the world. Whom do the Israelis say is the Messiah? They say it's Satan. They just don't use that name because they're liars and deceivers. They're the synagogue of Satan. If you call me an anti-Semite, you'll be subject to a judgment you're not going to want to face. Because Yeshua called them the synagogue of Satan, the risen Lord. So if you accuse me of anti-Semitism, which is your crime, you're anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-anything. I have no power, dear. Well, that doesn't stop you from being murdered. They just murder that voice and then ask questions afterward. That's America, because America is made of retards. I could use the N-word, but you see, it has a history of being applied to innocent people. It actually is derived from the Spanish word for black, negro, or negra. I used to drink a beer called negra, and I wondered, why does it have an A at the end? It's because it's an adjective for cerveza. Cerveza ends in A. So negro ends in A. Negra. Cerveza negra. I am not allowed to drink that anymore. I bet you can guess why. So, I am a Sufi prophet, and I'm learning every day from my Islam masters. Oh yeah, I'm in subordination. I shouldn't say insubordination, because in negates subordination. Insubordination is something you don't want to be accused of by your leaders. No, I am under the yoke. I am not an overlord. Being a prophet, even a Sufi prophet, does not give me any privileges, except to be hated and murdered. Really, the best I could ask for is just to be ignored. Well, I'm as happy as a clam at high tide right now. Everybody is ignoring me. No matter what I've discovered in physics, mathematics, logic, in ethics, in religion, in the universe, in the farthest reaches of the things we want to know everything about. Will you ever know those things? I will, because I already do. What about the quantum paradox, the light speed, nature of light? Nobody can understand shit. I understand it all. I can guide you anywhere in the universe and blow your fucking socks off with what you want. So, why would people ignore that? I just told you. They don't believe in the one that I believe in. I believe in the actual Son of God. Now let's get to Islam. Is Islam okay? I say Islam is okay, so it is. Your opinion does not matter there. So I'm laying down the law, just like Moshe. Where are the Jews? They're satanic. And there are no Jews. They're only white European Zionists. They're murderers. And Albert Einstein, you could say, was part of that. He certainly abetted the Zionist plan. And I've gone into that. You don't need to worry about that. It would just confuse you. Because Americans are retarded. And it's way worse than that, because technically you're born retarded. Americans aren't born retarded. They want to be retarded. And what can you do then? You're stuck. Because nobody wants to listen to the truth, because that would expose you to what cannot hurt you if you're retarded and satanic. If you refuse to face the light, if you have no idea about anything, hey, you're just like a dog. Well, humans don't normally stay that way. You're supposed to evolve, and the only way you can evolve, it's your mind that evolves, okay? So that's what a Sufi is here to do, is to encourage you in the right direction. But if you're an American, I'm just telling you right now, you're out. So are the so-called, anyone who thinks that they're a Jew. If you think that you're a Jew, you simply are not thinking. You're just saying something that is so stupid. Or I'm Chinese, or I'm Japanese. Fuck you! Are you human? Who's going to decide whether you're even human or not? I can see it, but I'm not a judge. All I can do is put out the truth, which I am learning now, in parallel. You may, if you know anything about computer technology, know of something called parallel processing, which raises the power of a computer by orders of power, is to have parallel processing. There is one step beyond that humanity will never achieve, but we can see it. It's called quantum computing, and I alone know what that is. I've checked all the literature on quantum computing. I almost got sidetracked into a full-scale exploration of quantum computing. But after about 4 months of intensive study, all of which was great, I discovered the Bloch sphere. I discovered it for myself. But quantum computing is kind of like the expansion of the universe or quantum entanglement. You just named something that you'll never ever get any further. The universe is expanding? Well, that's stupid. So you're done. No, that will never be broken. The universe is expanding, so Satan won the game in astronomy. And now you're blocked from heaven by your Western scientists. Anybody who says the universe is expanding, they might as well just say that they hate God. It's exactly the same statement. And the new atheism, well, I don't... The new atheism, there's nothing new about Richard Dawkins or Brian Greene or Neil deGrasse Tyson. Or Michio Kaku. Now you have all three races. They're all satanic in America. So don't give me your black, white, yellow, brown bullshit. If you're an American, you're a retard. And you have no hope. If you're an American, you just counted yourself out of the cosmic race. You're just like the Israelis. Isn't it a coincidence that America supplies the lifeblood to the biggest band of murderers that exists today, certainly? The Zionist pigs in Jerusalem and Haifa? Oh my God. I'll never go to that country. And if anybody is from Israel, they're not coming into my house. That's not a nation. That's the synagogue of Satan. Who is it that would say that that's anti-Semitic? Gee, I wonder. If you call Hitler a motherfucking Nazi, of course everyone's gonna know that you're anti-Nazi. But are you anti-German or anti-Austrian or anti-human? No! You just don't like Israelis. Or Austrians, or whatever the case that you don't like, or Africans. The Catholic Church said that those aren't even humans. They have kinky hair and dark skin, they're not human. The Catholic Church said, over in the New World, well, obviously they're not civilized like the Spaniards. Oh, this was in Queen Isabella's court. They're not human. So kill them, enslave them, who cares? They're there for you, the good Spaniards of the sewer of Europe. So don't talk to me about racism. You're racist. All right, so I can't be. Oh, I'd lose my soul if I were racist. I don't have anything against anybody. It's been said, the spirit, that is God's spirit, the good guys, the light side of the Force, as you Star Wars generation, not the dark side of the Force, the other one. That's what we call, in my line of work as a Sufi prophet, that's called the spirit. It means the good spirit. Well, we don't fight against evil. We never have. What happens is that we're happy because we know the truth of heaven that sets men free, and then, just like good scientists or indeed good neighbors, we talk about it because maybe you'd like it too. We couldn't ultimately give a fuck, but if you join us, we're happy because you're happy, that makes us happier. That's called the kingdom of God. But what happens is When we're so happy, and there's going to be some of us that don't really say that, they're just a little perverted, like they become Latter-day Saints or Mormons, or they join a Protestant church, well, or worst of all, they become Catholics. My own cousin actually converted to Judaism, and I tried to get in touch with him to warn him, but his wife blocked me. And then I looked up his wife. His name is Paul Monroe, and his wife is a Zionist. So I'm part of the Addams family too. My lineage is not pure. Depends on what you mean by lineage. My cousin is not in my line. He's in my mother's brother's line. And that's not my line, so I'm not responsible for him having been taken to the cleaners by a Zionist bitch. That's for you, Paul, for not answering me. Your father was highly respected by my sisters and ultimately by myself. You're not his son, are you? Who are you, Paul Monroe? He might be dead. He's about my age. And his brother, Jamie Monroe, died of asthma. The whole family is riddled with asthma. That I did get a piece of. I'm dying of asthma. I couldn't care less as long as I don't get a Zionist wife. That's how they do it! So I try to reach my own cousin, and that little Zionist bitch blocked me. Thank you, that's all I wanted to say for now. I've learned that every other video has to get my spleen out. Because I'm nearing the end now, and I'm still being ignored, you're not getting away with that. I will kick you in the shins, I will kick in your door. You have got to tell other people to start listening to me so they can at least hate me, so I know where to go to fight! I'm ready to fight you now! I know what's going to happen to me. Not before I get in some of my licks. Step on up to the plate. I got a beanball for you that's going to conk your brains out of your ass. You goddamned retarded Americans! Thank you very much. We'll be right back with the good news that the Father of everything has bestowed on us for free. You know about it. You just hate him. Keep looking up and stay tuned. This will pass.